Welcome to Waycross Candidate Profiles. Each year during the election season, we offer candidates running in the Waycross viewing area the opportunity to speak for up to 5 minutes to you, the voting audience at home. Waycross does not take positions on candidates or issues, but we do encourage you to vote on November 8th.
Hi, my name is Cindy Abrams, and I'm your state representative in the Ohio House of Representatives, District 29. Over the past 3 years, I have had the honor of serving the western portion of Hamilton County. I began my career as a public servant here in the city of Cincinnati as a police officer, where I found my passion to protect and serve our community. In 2015, I served as a council member for the city of Harrison, and in 2019, I continued my dedication in serving the people of Hamilton County as your state representative in the Ohio House of Representatives. Throughout my 3 years in the General Assembly, I have prioritized keeping people safe and keeping people employed, not just in Hamilton County, but in all of Ohio. One example is House Bill 93. I introduced this bill with the intent of protecting the safety of human trafficking and domestic violence survivors. This legislation gave these survivors an opportunity to keep their home addresses confidential and away from their perpetrator. As I communicate with our local police officers, I hear and see firsthand the difficulties faced by our first responders. I strongly advocated for funding to support law enforcement. During discussions of the state operating budget last year, we were able to secure $250 million for public safety. This funding helped provide safety grants, training, recruitment and retention grants for our law enforcement agencies and officers throughout Ohio. In an effort to grow our workforce, I have always been an advocate of the Tech Cred program, which partners with private sector businesses to provide technical training. This training not only improves Ohio's workforce development, but it offers new opportunities to many different technical careers. Not only do I support Tech Cred, but I also firmly support providing education and opportunities for our youth. We have to ensure Ohio's young people are aware of all the options for them to achieve success, whether it be serving in our armed forces, practicing a trade, or attending college. Throughout all of my efforts, I have kept the safety, security, and success of all Ohioans at the forefront of my mind. I am proud to be an approachable, accessible state representative. I encourage all my constituents to reach out to me with any concerns you may have. Email me at rep29@ohiohouse.gov or call me at 614-466-9091. At the end of the day, I am here to serve you, and I will continue to be a strong voice for you at the State House.
Hi, I'm Congressman Warren Davidson. I'm a member of Congress. I was first elected in 2016 after John Boehner resigned, and now I serve on the House Financial Services Committee and on the Select Committee for the Economy. Following high school, I enlisted in the infantry and was sent over to Germany. I got to meet people who were experiencing their first hours of freedom after the Berlin Wall fell, and my chain of command helped me go to West Point. Got a great education there, returned to active duty as an Army infantry officer, and had the chance to lead in the Old Guard, the 75th Ranger Regiment, and the 101st Airborne Division. Following the Army, my wife Lisa and I returned to Ohio and raised our 2 kids who are now young adults. I worked with my family's business initially and started my own company, went to Notre Dame and picked up an MBA, and then returned back to the family business and started growing that. The company I had started, we acquired other companies and started others along the way. And so when I had the chance to return to government service, for me it was in a way a chance to go back on active duty and deal with some of the things that I really felt were left unfinished. With endless wars and a broken foreign policy, I was able to help provide input on how to confront a smarter way to wage the war on terror. And if you look at what we've done against ISIS, it's been much more effective than driving troops down the same roads every day and then acting surprised that they get ambushed. It was a horrible way to wage the war on terror, and I'm glad that we're out of Afghanistan and Iraq, but still engaged in the war on terror. The way we left, you don't have to have served a single day on active duty to know that that was flawed. You would first, of course, take out the civilians, make sure they're all the way out, and then withdraw the military. The Biden administration did it the other way. And unfortunately, no one's been held accountable for the failures there. Joe Biden's not going to change course on any of his policies. If you look at our border, it was much more secure. We had a lot of work left to do to secure our border and fix our broken immigration policies, but now our border is being exploited by the cartels. The New York Times reports that under the Trump administration, the cartels were making about $500 million a year on human trafficking, smuggling people across that border. Now it's estimated that they're making over $13 billion every year, 26 times as much money for smuggling people across the border. And the consequences are just horrific. The leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds in America is fatal overdoses of drugs. And yes, they're taking themselves and drugs are bad, but these drugs are now poisoned with fentanyl. So that's why I want to pass my Stop the Cartels Act that focuses on the cartels. We've got other bills that need to confront immigration, that need to confront border security. But if we treat the cartels as they are, as enemies of our country, we can sanction them, we can sanction the companies in China that are supplying the fentanyl, the people that are providing the money, and more. Joe Biden's policies on the economy are hitting families in Southwest Ohio perhaps harder than any of the others. The consequence of inflation, think of it, at 8.3%, that's like giving up a single month of pay, a whole month with no pay in the course of a year. So you're losing 1/12 of your salary to inflation. It's a tax on every single person. It's hitting our retirees hardest. And frankly, at the lowest end of the economy, you've got the least disposable income. It's a very pernicious problem. We need to keep our economy strong, and we have to turn off what's causing it. So in 2020, when I was part of the Reopen America task force confronting the problems of COVID, while trying to keep our economy functional, I formed the Sound Money Caucus. And it's obvious that when you print money, we're spending more money than anyone will even lend us. You're destroying the value of those dollars. It's killing the purchasing power of our money. And we have to turn off the government spending. We have to have a government that's small enough to fit within the Constitution. Good news, that's a government that we can afford. So I look forward to the chance to confront those challenges in this next term. I humbly ask for your vote, and I ask for your support to help take back the House. God bless you, and God bless our great country.
My name is Vanessa Enoch, and I'm a mom, a business owner, and a concerned Ohio citizen. I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives because we're facing an uncertain future. And we need representatives who will fight for the interest of the people in our communities and not for big businesses, big banks, and special interest groups. We can't continue asking the people who created the problem in Washington, D.C. to fix it. We need people who have actually faced adversity and who have navigated difficulties and come through them. My opponent doesn't understand the everyday challenges that we face in our communities. He has everything handed to him. He can't represent us. I come from humble beginnings, and I've had to fight for and earn everything I've ever achieved. I know what it is to struggle, but I also know what it is to win. And that's what I want for our communities. We can't win if rich people and big businesses don't pay their fair share, and if they exploit working people. After my husband died, I raised 2 daughters on my own, and I struggled to earn an MBA and a PhD in public policy while raising my children as a single mom. My children were active in sports and after-school activities, and most people remember me as the mom who had her laptop on the soccer field or in the stands at basketball games and at track meets. At times, I taught at 5 colleges and ran my own small business just to make ends meet. I know how to manage a budget and how to make a dollar stretch. I also know that those who work the hardest don't always have access to the best life. Working hard in America doesn't necessarily mean that you'll do well or have more, and it shouldn't be that way. No one should have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet or to have a decent life. We struggled, and we made it. My daughters are adults now. My oldest completed college and now works in finance for a large technology company. My younger daughter is currently in college. I don't have any special agenda in Washington other than serving the people. My only objective is to fight for working people and for the things that we need in our communities. We need a cure for cancer. We need good paying jobs. We need access to capital. Small businesses need access to capital. People want to own homes and live good lives. We want to take vacations. And those are the things that our legislators in Washington, D.C. are interested in making sure that those things happen. But I am. My opponent once said that corporate donations are a form of speech. Well, I don't like what the money has to say, especially when it means putting profits over the needs of us working people. I'm asking for your help to tell voters that they have a real choice for change this year. You can volunteer to hang things on literature on doors of your neighbors, or you can make phone calls to voters or donate to help our campaign cover the cost of TV ads and postage stamps and billboards. You can learn more about my campaign at enochforcongress.com, and you can volunteer there as well. Again, my name is Vanessa Enoch, and I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives.
My name is Stephanie Summerall Dumas, and I am the president of the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners. I was born in the West End, raised in Avondale, and tonight I am the city of Forest Park at the Mayor's Grove, where there was a tree planted in my honor several years ago because I was the mayor for 12 years and the magistrate in this city. But the reason why I'm here this evening is to talk to you about my re-election to the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners. There are several goals that are important to me, and hopefully they are important to you also. Fiscal responsibility is really important to our residents. When I came in 2018 on the commission board, almost 4 years ago, I'm presently the president for the past 2 years, we were in a hole. We had a budget deficit and could not pay our bills. Now in 2022, our budget is structured, it is balanced, and we're able to do more things for you. We can get more staff, we can repair buildings, we can also help with public safety, and we can also work to close the Lincoln Heights gun range. We're working very hard on that. The county has given $5 million toward that effort, and I'm trying to get other entities to do the same. And in addition to that, we are looking at a satellite office in Forest Park so there's better access for people to get their services and not have to go downtown. Along with those priorities, also inclusion and diversity is another area that I'm very concerned about. We had our first disparity study orchestrated by our board because we wanted to see, are we being equal? Are we being fair when it comes to hiring and contracts? And it came out exactly like we thought it would. We are not doing everything we need to do, and we're going to work very hard to make sure that people have an equal chance in their businesses, minority, small businesses, and women-owned businesses. In addition to that, affordable housing is one thing that I am very adamant about. The commission gave $40 million for that effort. Not $4 million, not $14 million, but $40 million to help those who have nowhere to stay. They cannot consistently lay their heads anywhere. And we are making sure, along with other partners in our county, that they help with that same effort. And so I'd like to say another area I know that's very interesting to you is MSD and whether or not we would try to raise the sewer rates. I have no intention of raising the rates. I am very concerned that the projects are far behind, that the pipes are antiquated, and every project seems to come in over budget. But I do not agree in increasing their budget until they show me that they're doing a better job. And so oftentimes people say through the sewer backup program, I don't qualify. And it's my job to try to find another way that more people can qualify when their basements are flooded. And that's what I'm going to be working on. I would like to say to you, being an incumbent has its advantages. I know exactly the pulse of the county and what's going on here. I have partners that I've been working with. I don't have to develop partners. I'm already working with partners that are working with me on those same goals. And so as I move forward, it's clear to me, clear as black and white, that the best person for this job is Stephanie Summerall Dumas. And I ask you to remember the work that has been done, how I want to continue the work, the innovative things that I want to continue to do. I do not want to raise any taxes. I am committed to that. And I ask that you vote for me November the 8th, Stephanie Summerall Dumas, to continue the work of a Hamilton County Commissioner. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Steve Grody, and I'd hope you consider me for Hamilton County Commissioner on this fall's ballot. I am a write-in candidate. I am independent, and I've always practiced the policy that is what is best for the majority of taxpayers should be good for everybody as well. My public career started in Green Township as a trustee, then a clerk, and a trustee again. And of course, that's probably not a surprise because I've lived in Green Township my entire life. My name is spelled G-R-O-T-E. I'd like to think that the G stands for grateful because public service is a calling and I enjoy it very much. R is reliable. I've always answered the call when it came to the needs of both township voters and residents of Sims Township. O stands for organized. There's not a lot that escapes me because I'm reasonably detail-oriented and I'd like to make sure I have all the facts before I make a decision. And of course, T would be thorough then because once you make a decision, you have to implement it and make sure that it goes the way you originally planned. And last but not least, E would stand for experienced. When I say experienced, I mean a couple things. First of all, I've not always been in public service. That career started in 1991. I have other means of support. I've worked in a family business. Some of you may remember as Grody Bakery. I've been a salesperson for in-home sales in the Hamilton County and Butler County areas for a lot of different reasons. And it's always a pleasure to go in and listen first to what people's concerns are and then try to find out if there's a need or a solution that I can help them achieve. It's not always the easiest thing to do because many people kind of think they know more than the average guy, but I've always used the lesson of not thinking I'm the smartest person in any room because quite frankly, that often leads you into trouble. I'm gonna take a minute here and just ask you on September 14th, who remembers what today is the anniversary of? It's in fact the anniversary of the creation of the Star-Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key, September 14th, and I believe it would be 1814 during the war with the British. It's important for us to remember our heritage because without it, who are we? We can't cancel our heritage. We can't cancel who we've been and what we've done. And I think the unfortunate treatment of Marge Schott, who oddly enough has been the last person to provide a national championship to the city, and she did it without 2 new sports stadia to boot. Sure, we all have issues. Some of us have said things that we would regret, but most of us try to do what's the right thing most of the time. I appreciate the fact that people have entrusted me with the office of trustee and clerk on multiple occasions. I look forward to using the same knowledge that we use in the unincorporated area of Green Township to help Hamilton County better manage its affairs and take the focus off of sports stadium and riverfront development and get back to doing basics of government like keeping taxes low and providing basic services. Again, my name is Steve Grody. You will have to write in my name on the November 8th ballot. And remember, it'll be a blank spot in the Hamilton County Commission category. And again, the name is G-R-O-T-E, and I thank you very much.
Hello, I'm State Representative Tom Brinkman. I would like to bring my 15 plus years of legislative experience from the Ohio General Assembly to the Hamilton County Auditor's Office. For years, I have worked hard in the General Assembly to lower taxes and make Ohio a more business-friendly state. Those efforts have paid off. Biggest example would be the luring of the Intel Corporation to Ohio to create tens of thousands of high-paying jobs. As a lifelong resident of Hamilton County, our property taxes are frankly very, very high, and probably the highest of the 88 counties in Ohio. As county auditor, I will work hard to make sure that we lower the property tax, because frankly, you and I are being squeezed by the inflation recently set off by the rampant spending in Washington, D.C. Recently, the inflation rate was the highest for groceries since the Jimmy Carter days. And as a 64-year-old, I remember the Jimmy Carter days, and it wasn't pretty. I have lived in Hamilton County my entire life. I reside with my wife, Kathy, our 6 children who are grown and have homes of their own, and 7 grandchildren. I know the county auditor has many responsibilities. Quite frankly, 130 responsibilities if you look throughout the Ohio Revised Code. But it can be listed down to 3 specific ones. Number 1, they set the valuation of property in the county. Recently, that has been more and more an estimate through a Zillow estimation, as opposed to real appraisals. I would like to move back to real appraisals so that people do not face higher than expected appraisals or lower than expected valuations. They can hurt you both ways. And I think we can do that quickly and to your benefit. Second, we set the scales on the meat counter at the gas pump. And I want to give a renewed focus to those numbers to make sure that when you buy a pound of meat, you get a pound of meat. When you buy a gallon of gasoline, you get a gallon of gasoline. Those numbers may be dead on right now, but I'm going to give them a renewed focus to make sure that you get what you pay for. And finally, the county auditor is responsible for dog licenses. Recent articles have talked about how the stray dogs, the SCPA, many of those groups are under stress during this economy. The funds that you pay for your dog's licenses go to help fund those organizations. I believe more people would purchase the licenses if we made it more convenient. You go into the grocery store, you can buy a roll of stamps. Why not make it more convenient when you buy supplies for your pets to be able to buy those licenses, thus funding those groups that need it so desperately to take care of the stray and lost pet population in our county. I would really appreciate you considering voting for me for Hamilton County Auditor. And if you need more information, go to my website, which is www.gobrinkman.com. And if you'd ever like to call me, don't hesitate. My number is 513-321-6591. That's my home number. Let me repeat it again, 513-321-6591. 321-6591, and I'll be more than happy to call you back. Hope you have a good rest of the year. Please get out to vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me. My name is Pat Dinkelacker. I'm running for judge in the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas General Division. I'm running for the seat being vacated by Judge Bob Ruhlman, and I think I have 6 more years to offer this community, and that is my hope that I'm able to do that. Judges' experience matters. It truly matters, and I certainly have the experience. I was an assistant Hamilton County prosecutor for 11 years, going through the juvenile, municipal, and common pleas arenas, where I tried a whole bunch of big cases, quite frankly, and I was a judge for 29 years, okay? I did lose the election in 2020, so I was moving on, and I will go to this point, that judges are important, ladies and gentlemen. They're very important. They make decisions that affect your lives on a daily basis. You don't even realize at times the decisions that are being made that affect your life by judges. And I'll point this out. You're aware, like I'm aware, of the lawlessness and the brazen criminality that's going on right now in our community. Okay? And judges, in part, are part of being responsible for that. Because it is, ladies and gentlemen, the judges, not the prosecutor, that sets the bonds. The judges are the ones that do the sentencings. So they are important, and things have changed since the 2020 election. They've certainly changed. Elections have consequences. And I would ask you to consider this, ladies and gentlemen. Since 2020, do you feel safer in your community? Do you feel like you're better off and safer when you go to church or the grocery store or out to dinner or whatever? And do you feel that victims are being treated better or equal to defendants at this point? I ask you to consider that. If you say no to those 2 questions, then maybe it's time to bring back people like myself that are willing to follow the law and do the right thing as far as safety of the community. Judges take an oath to follow the law, okay, to treat everyone equally, to seek justice and treat everyone with dignity and respect. And that's what I did for 29 years, and I will do again. I did take personal the loss in 2020, okay? Nobody likes to lose. I don't either. And I thought, maybe it's time for end my career, and some people even told me that. Just go ahead, relax, take care of your grandkids and kids and whatever, and I thought about that. And then some things started happening across the country. You saw and I saw. Parents saying, no, that's enough. We're not going to have those kind of things for our kids in America. And victims of crime stepping up and saying, we need to be treated fairly. That's the American way, okay? And finally, the next thing that happened to me was the Cincinnati FOP was nice enough to invite me to give this speech at their memorial downtown on Fountain Square in May of 2021. I looked out over that crowd, ladies and gentlemen, and I saw what really truly is that blue line between chaos, anarchy, and a civilized society, and that's the police. And I made a speech to that effect to them, their children, their spouses, and their families, that we need to back them up. You remember what was going on back then. Remember that defund the police lives don't matter and all that? Well, my speech was just the opposite. So I started thinking about, maybe I need to get back. And finally, I've got 9 little grandkids. They mean the world to me. As your children, kids, grandkids mean to you. Okay, and I thought to myself, aren't we supposed to make this place a better place for them when we leave, a safer place when we leave? And I thought the best way I can do that is to be a judge again. Because I know I can help people, I know I can help the community, and I am in this, ladies and gentlemen, to win this, okay? I want to help the community, I want to help people, and I can do that best by being a judge. I stand for, absolutely, you can ask anyone that knows me, I follow the law. I believe in the rule of law. I believe firmly in fairness to everyone, not some special group, not part of an agenda. Everyone should be treated fairly, and I certainly believe from the bottom of my heart in the safety of the community. If you cannot remember the name Pat Dinkelacker, I would ask you to think about this. Think Dink, vote Dink, and I can tell you this, I will not let you down. God bless you, God bless the United States of America, and again, thank you for having me.